What's up, everyone? This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't base anything I say off these videos. I'm just doing it for pure entertainment purposes only. Ah. All right, so yesterday, I'm telling you, man, the writing's usually on the wall about what coins and what stocks are a good buy at the time, because usually it's a reverse effect of whatever the masses are talking about, right? In my opinion. And I believe that's the game they play, and that's how they make their money. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start doing that lightly, see how it works with other plays, not AMC or GME. Those are obviously like an extra long version of a regular play, in my opinion. So I looked at Pepe and a couple of coins that people were talking about, just, especially crypto in general, because crypto, a lot of people have been talking about how it's done, get ready for the crypto winter, et cetera, it's blah blah blah, all bad, right? So at that point, I had already sold off most of my crypto on one of the last bull runs, but I did keep some, some core coins or some that I thought would have another run, etc. Pepe was one of the ones I sold off. Well, what I could, that's the funny thing about some of those coins. You have to have. That's how they're gonna make their money regardless. There's gonna be a little balance in there somewhere, no matter what. Pull in the back here. But yeah, with Pepe, last night I was reading all sorts of stuff, how it was done, and get ready for a rug pull, and it's over, right? So then I bought in and sold for a 20% profit this morning. And I thought to myself, man, if you could do that on a daily basis, like just maybe 2 or 3 plays like that, and could pull 15 to 25% on each one on a daily basis, you might be doing all right. So kind of where I'm at with that. I'm going to try it out for a while, see how it runs. So far, day 1 of that, going good. I'm going to, if I get a chance, maybe I'll shout out the plays I'm going to try it out on, just so you can kind of watch it live and see how it goes. But it's really not that hard. If you're in any forums or anything like that where they, there's a lot of people and groups or whatever, you'll notice just people talking down on something like, oh, it's done, the crypto run's over, the bull run's over, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And then at that point, hold on one second. Yeah, 1 minute. Sorry, back in it. One of the neighbors here wanting to talk to me. But yeah, so I've kind of looked at it that way. You see some of these things going down and you want to turn it around. So like I said, like you look at a lot of these big hedge funds and stuff like that, I think they put out a narrative that shows something's horrible, it's bad, and then it has a pump, or then they start saying, hey, it's gonna go nowhere but up, and then it dumps. So they're playing both sides. For me, I'm only playing the up. I don't mess around with shorts or puts or anything like that right now, just because I don't feel like I'm good enough at it, and I don't want to risk more than I'm willing to lose, and I don't want to lose that way. So until I'm more educated to play that way, then I will. But for now, I've done this before in the past, but I haven't done it like on a daily or maybe every other day type basis. I don't know if you can do it daily, but I'm going to try, keep my eyes out, see what other plays are talking about. But I guess that's it, really. You look at it that way. Whatever's at the low, and you feel like your instinct's telling you, and people are just talking about it being done and out, and you'll see posts like people saying, well, I'm going to start putting my short position on it tomorrow, or blah, blah, blah. You see numerous posts like that, then for me, not you, I guess I say you a lot, and I don't really mean like you personally, I'm just a person in general. But for me, that's kind of the writing on the wall I'm looking for. Obviously, I have to do some DD on the stock or the coin as well. It can't just be an immediate like, oh, they said it was bad, so I'm gonna buy it. You got to do a little bit of your own work on it. But I'm trying that out. It worked for me this morning. Like I said, made a 20% pop overnight. And a lot of times, like in the stock market, a lot of people are looking at numbers like how much money, like, did I make 1,000? Did I make 100? Did I make 50? Whatever it is. For me personally, someone told me this in the very beginning, and it helped me. if we look at percentages instead of numbers, because sometimes you get caught up like saying, oh, I want to make 200 off the stock, and you're at $120 profit, but you don't sell. And really you could have made $120 in a day, you know? So I look at percentages that way. Like if I sell a stock and I make 15% off of it, and let's say that stock only makes $10, but the next time I got a bigger play at 15%, let's say I make $300, you know, it makes it a lot easier for me personally to follow a percentage than a number. You get into a stock and start wishing and hoping for a number, it kind of gets tricky. You know, and I think a lot of us maybe have learned that with some of the meme stocks that we've been into, you know, like BBBY. And, you know, for me, like I said, I will always say that I believe GME and AMC run a little different. So it's hard for me to say on those, but for as well, you know, you could have said, oh, a percentage of that, you could have had profit and bought back in, and then over and over and over repetitively, which, you know, I don't think it's a dumb way to play. It's just not how I'm playing these plays specifically, GME and AMC. I think everyone knows I run those ones a little different. But yeah, that's just what I'm looking at here. Really, you know, coins are a lot more volatile, it seems like. Like really, I made some money with a coin called Dog with Hat. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's something most of you have or have heard of it or played it, but like obviously that coin is not going to be worth nothing. At some point it's going to dump, you know what I mean? So you just got to look at that too. Like, don't I made a mistake with Dogal on Mars, I believe, because I went heavy on that one, waiting for it to pop, and it had a nice little jump, and I stayed in it because I was like, I want more than $100. I should have looked at the bigger picture and thought, this $100 off of something like this is pretty good. You know what I mean? But it's because I invested more than I was really willing to lose in a coin. And now here I am holding the bag in the red. So you gotta figure it out. But you know, you live, you learn, and hopefully you get better from it. Like I said, a lot of times, you know, just because I say like, oh, you gotta do this, it'd be wise, and then I just turn around and do the total opposite. I think we're all humans, and in human nature, we want to, you know, be different, I guess. Like, oh, well, this play was different, so I had to play it different. Well, you know, 9 out of 10 of them, I believe, run similar. Every once in a while, you'll get one where you sell and it just jumps like 40-50% after you sell it, and you're like, damn, why'd I do that, you know? But it's how it works. I look at it this way: if you make 15% profit on any stock, it's a win, really. Even 10%. I know a lot of people that play the 10% rule. Me, I'm a little more of a, I guess, risky investor, so I like to 15 to 25% profit off of a quick play. But you know, you got to look at it that like running a store. You buy your inventory and you sell it for a profit. In a retail store, you want to make like 50% profit, you know, because you got to pay your overhead, et cetera, et cetera. You're still pulling about 30% of that profit into your pocket. So with the stock market, I look at it somewhat similar. I'm buying a stock and I look at it as inventory. When I sell it, you know, I sold the inventory and I get my profit and move on from that. But it is a lot harder to make a 50 to a 30% profit in the stock market, and you're still going to pay, you know, your capital gains if you're playing it quick. So these are all things you got to consider, and that's why the stock market is a means for me to make extra money. It's not like you know, I haven't decided fully to make this my full-time gig, because like I said, I own a store, I own a couple companies, and I do okay that way. The stock market for me is a way to really, you know, it started for me to have something long-term retirement wise, because as a business owner and the type of entrepreneur type person I am, I can spend money fast. I can make it fast and I can spend it fast. So I started thinking I need to figure out a way to make my money last a little longer, or have some sort of 401k, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, of course I went into Roth IRA and some blue chip and index fund investments. But you know, also, once I learned the market and I started, it took me about a good year. I was losing money almost on a daily basis for about a year. So you got to have some resolve and be willing to learn this. The thing I looked at is so many people I knew or across the globe that you don't even know that are making money off the market. There's obviously a way to do it. I think one of the biggest keys is just not to be greedy. And that's in the beginning stages, definitely was greedy. I'd see a 15% gain, and I'm like, nah, because it's only a $10 or $5 profit. You want more. Um, but I look at it this way: if I sell maybe 2 or 3 stocks a day, sometimes not even a day, and you make $50 in a day, and then you spend 20 of it back in the market, whatever the case is. These are just hypothetical numbers. You pull home, $30 after taxes are said and done. Let's say you only made $20 profit in that day, but if you do that on a daily basis and you made $100 a week, at the end of the month, you got your little city bill payment or truck payment, whatever payment, So I look at it that way. That's what it does for me. At the end of the month, the stock market generally pays, what I use it for is like a car payment, and then my fun expenses. So when we go out to dinner, stuff like that, then it's been paid for by the stock market, which obviously is paid for by me because I'm putting the work in. So anyways, I don't know. I'm just blabbering on, but that's just how I play it. I like the market to pay one of my big bills, and maybe I go out to eat a couple times a month, and I'm happy with that. What happens, you get greedy and you start thinking, well, damn, if I'm making this much, I'm gonna maybe put 1,000 on this one today, and instead of making a couple hundred this week, I'm gonna make 1,000 this month. And then next thing you know, once you start playing big like that, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, the stock is running the wrong way, and it's going backwards, and then all of a sudden you're down 1,000 and it's hard to make up. So I like to keep it even kill, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it just goes back to what I always say: never invest more than you're willing to lose. So whatever you're willing to put up, I'm not willing to put up $1,000 a day. That's just my position right now. Who's to say that maybe next year I'm in a better position? I am willing to play that much, but right now, that's how I'm doing it. And today, and like I've said, GME, AMC, I do believe they run differently. There's too much to talk about, and but right now, obviously, but I think most of you who are on my page understand why most people like me are in that play. So that's a little different story. This is just regular stock market shit. When it comes to GME and AMC, you start getting kind of some of the dirt of the market that you kind of wish wasn't there, but also, provides an opportunity if the stars align, if you will. You know what I mean? So, that's it. I mean, you can make money off of simple plays. You can be, I guess, humble and not greedy, and it works out. But I've noticed, for me, anytime I get greedy or a little arrogant in my plays, like, oh no, I'm gonna make this no matter what, that's when I get in trouble. So try to keep an even keel on both sides. But like I said, I'm kind of watching for narratives, FUD, real FUD, not just people actually warning you like, oh, this stock sucks. I don't want to just buy anything that people say is bad, but something like that. Which stock? Pathetic. Every day watching this stock, I'm sick, losing like this. Well, don't watch it every day. That's one of the keys to anything too, I would say, Journey. If you watch the line, yeah, you're gonna get sick. It goes up and down. Anything you're investing into isn't gonna go straight up. Anything. It takes some time. So AMC, GME, those are wild plays. I mean, I wasn't sick last weekend when GME was up 200%. You know what I mean? So it's volatile. You got to be able to hold through the good and the bad. Like I always say, it won't be red forever and it won't be green forever. So when it's down in the red, you just got to think, hey man, at some point we'll be back in the green. When it's up in the green, you got to humble yourself and say, hey man, this ain't gonna last forever. We're going back down at some point. Journey says just going down, down, down. Sorry, I tuned in late. Yeah, I mean that's what happens. But I mean, if you look at it, if you haven't sold any, I haven't sold any, anyone you talk to hasn't sold any. In my opinion, not financial advice, and I have no factual evidence. I do believe that someone is just doing things that they're not supposed to make it go down. So if you have control over the market, you have control over the price, and you also benefit from the price going down, it's a conflict of interest. So that's an issue with hedge funds owning one hedge fund and the same people owning a market maker, being a market maker. and you own both, one person or one entity and one company owns both, the company that makes money from it going down is also the company that controls the price, we got a problem. You know what I mean? So that's why I think most people always say, if you watch any OG or old school AMC or GME YouTube videos, they always say try to buy on lit exchange. I'm guilty of buying on Robinhood as well, and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, I'm only buying a few shares, but a few million of us buying a few shares adds up. So I'm trying to do better at that, like just buying strictly on lit exchange. But it's also hard too if you're on like Fidelity. You have to actually go through and you have to mark that you want it to go through the New York Stock Exchange, not through a dark pool. Which, I mean, the name, the dark pool, which was, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I want to say was created by Bernie Madoff. So, you know what I'm saying? All these things, it's just like, man, come on, really? But I do believe, I've said this almost every day, what's done in the dark will be seen in the light at some point. So I think we have our time in the sun. Until then, just got to ride that ugly wave, which I've been on for 3 years. I've done enough DD to where I've just bought and bought and bought, So with GME, I've just barely started the buy and hold technique. With GME, I did what a lot of people would probably hate me for, is just buying in and out, watching the algo, which I know a lot of people do with AMC as well. I hadn't really done as much DD, and I kind of assumed since it had that $400 push or $420 push at some point that it was done, until I started really doing some more research and DD on it and realizing that even if that squeezes over, that's if it was a squeeze and that was whatever, it's done for, but they seem to be building up a new one because it got shorted down again by a lot of the same people, really. And then also the fact that they have no debt and they got like $4 billion cash on hand, and they've got a huge community. They've got a roaring kitty, there's just a lot as far as GME. AMC, I believe, is just super, super oversold, but that's just my opinion. Bob says, I keep hanging in there. Yeah, we've been hanging, man. So it's the risk you take, right? Like with the play like this, with high risk, high reward type play. So it's like going to the casino and going to a high limit room, Not really, but kind of. You go to the high limit room, well, the odds of you winning decrease compared to the amount of money you're going to spend, but the amount of reward you get increases because you're in that type of room and playing that type. So just my thoughts. Obviously I can never be 100% accurate. I'm still anticipating some sort of a pump. Like I said yesterday, I thought today or yesterday we would see some sort of a pump. It's pumping the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. But yeah, it's the play you're in. It's I sure wish it was different. Man, if I could, snap my fingers and automatically have a fair and honest market, then I would just do that, But unfortunately, we got to play the cards. You got to play the hand that's dealt. You got to play the cards you're dealt. So when you get dealt a shitty hand, you either got to bluff or you got to, live to fight for another hand. And that's what we're doing right now. We've been up, we've been down. It's going to do it again and again, and it's going to go up, it's going to go down. And at some point, if you decide you want to sell, that's totally up to you. But for me, I'm just waiting until I get that royal flush, and then I'm out of here. And then we'll move on to the next and the next and the next. But for now, I got all like 90% of my chips in these couple of plays, and for good reason, I believe. But just my thoughts on it. I don't, this page or this channel, I don't try to encourage people like you should go buy these stocks, because it is a mental game too. You have to be mentally strong. If you are not mentally strong, then I would definitely say, turn this alarm on. I would definitely say that this is not the type of stock play for you, because watching your money yo-yo up and down, especially if you watch it on a daily basis, it's like beating your own ass. You know what I mean? because what you'll do is you'll beat yourself up. You'll look at other stocks that are going out and be like, oh, if only I had invested this amount into that stock, or at some point in my life, I believe that someone's going to be saying that about AMC or GME. They're going to be saying, well, if only I'd invested this much. Just like think about GME the other day when they had that, like 200% rise. Imagine some of the people thinking, my God, if I would have just invested in that, So, obviously, I was in very low at that point. Wasn't really worth it for me to sell, just because I believe it was still going to go up or go up to the hundreds again in my hopes, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's a lot of craziness, man, with these plays. So, and I don't believe any of the craziness is over. We still got some for a while there, for for the past, about a year ago, I started saying AMC I thought was 2 years or a year and a half out. Now I think it's still about a year out before. I'm not saying for a squeeze. I'm saying for fundamentals to be better, debt to be paid down or restructured a little bit, and to see more improvement on their numbers, on their quarterly numbers. So I think they're headed there now. Things are going better. So we just got to ride that wave. Like I've said before with AMC, if it doesn't squeeze, I still think I'm at a good average at this point to still make some good money, just because fundamentally I believe it's worth way more than where it's priced. And like I said before, it's just I believe it's a huge conflict of interest to have someone that owns a hedge fund and also be a market maker that benefits from this stock going down, and they can make a price. And upon good news, when people are buying in, it goes down. It's just a bizarre thing. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. So those are my thoughts for now, man. I'm gonna jump back in a little bit later. This is mainly to talk about the ups and downs, and obviously with most of us being on this page being AMC or GME related, we know a lot of the downs, but you also know there's a lot of down. But when that upside pops, you know how volatile it can get. So one of these days, you ain't gonna sound so crazy when you told your family or your friends what you've invested in. So hopefully you guys have a good day. Be blessed. I'll jump back in here in another live once I get settled in here. I got to get some stuff done here at the shop. But have a good day. Peace.